Welcoming all our viewers to today's International Affairs, last of the week, being broadcasted all the way here in the SATV's Gulshan studio. Much of the discussion today will be focusing on how we see leaders from across the world changing their duties and their line of responsibility and what consequences it lies for the fate of mankind. Before stepping in to the discussion, let me welcome our guests and panels here on this program. Along in the studio, I will have Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain, Senior Jurist of the Supreme Court of Bangladesh and as well a politician. I welcome you on to the program. Alongside, I will have Norman Floyd Barnes, our geopolitical correspondent all the way from Washington, District of Columbia. Beginning the talk today regarding energy, regarding resources, how they have become so scarce around the world, especially at the helm of this war in the Middle East we've seen between Iran and Russia. In other news as well, we see a total solar eclipse taking to the glances in Europe, parts of Europe, and Spain witnessed this eclipse. And of course, it will be the first in the last 30 years. I want to pass it to Norman. There are exciting updates regarding the administration there in the US. We hear that Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, is to leave the job at the month's end. Really a big relationship with the leader, Donald Trump, as well as Secretary Leavitt. So I want to ask you how you feel about this. Someone new is set to join, I'm pretty sure, as well. A very good morning to you, Norman. How are you feeling about today?
Good morning. It's I guess the end of the week in your part of the world. We still have a couple more days to go here in the United States. And yes, Caroline Leavitt has announced her departure. This is something that was actually expected. She was not meant to be, her plans was never meant to be there for the entire term in office. We wish her well in her new world and whatever she's decided to do after this. It's unknown exactly who will replace her and what effect that will have, but you can guarantee that the president will keep his tone. He will keep his upbeat, I guess, style in terms of putting things out, and hopefully someone will be able to match his energy coming in the new position. The other part is the Middle East is looking at. We're seeing that some of the leaders in Gaza, Israel, actually in Iran, they are basically changing their senior leadership, at least the senior leadership that we know about, their position. So it appears that we're looking for a embedded confrontation. I don't see any talk or any movement towards peace. We're looking at minimum, maintain the same level of conflict that we're having, if not a more aggressive approach by Iran, and particularly down in Yemen, the Houthis, and our approach to Yemen and that in the Red Sea areas. So I'm seeing now there's communications about how many people the United States Congress is talking about, how many people the United States military killed in that region, particularly in Yemen, particularly the Houthis. So it looks like there's a shift from Iran down to that part of the region, and it appears that we will engage more. You'll see more commentary about our engagement with that part of the world. So it looks like the civil war is about to ramp up again down there, and we are now doing the Strait, and we'll be moving towards the Red Sea. And Israel will keep up its pace with what they're doing. So here again, more of the same, different players, same region.
Right. Excellent opening by Norman Floyd Barnes all the way in Washington, D.C., really recapping what we have seen all throughout this week. Confrontations in the Red Sea. The Houthis are attacking a vessel that is a commercial vessel, violating international law, has been important in the part of news that we have been receiving, as well as the Iran Supreme National Security Council new in this position, Secretary Mohsen Rezai, said that Iran, Turkey, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Indonesia have a responsibility as major Muslim countries to advance unity across the Islamic world. So this is a call to unite those following in this faith. As well, we see how the situation still remains very volatile in this region, in the Middle East. Getting your remarks, especially as here in Bangladesh, we also see some of the effects, after effects of dependency on energy from outside sources. Obviously, that has had an effect in Bangladesh as well. I want to get your remarks, how you see this last couple of days in the situation in the Middle East.
Thank you. The situation is still volatile, there is no doubt. Houthi has attacked a commercial ship. Earlier, we have seen that a commercial ship of Iran was attacked by Ukraine,
right,
where they have seek for apology, and there was no retaliation yet. So, in this volatile situation, conflict situation, this type of events, this type of incident takes place. You cannot deny that. So, sometimes the civilian flights, civilian ships and civilian including women and children are being very badly affected, that we have seen. And Israel is there to attack deliberately the women, children and hospital, where we have seen that Netanyahu is committing crime against humanity consistently, which is beyond any limit. And America is continuously supporting Israel to commit this offense, and a demand from inside America has come up that 50% of the American people is wanting the arrest of Netanyahu, and American leadership is not complying or listening to those demands. In the meantime, we have heard that there was a infight in John F. Kennedy warship. This news has broken in Bangladesh media, but we have not heard anything from the American State Department or from the outside world. And they said that some senior official has gone for visit, and in front of him there was an infight, and some of them might have used weapons. So in the meantime, we heard that America has exhausted their stockpile of the armaments.
Right, munitions shortages.
Munition shortage. And in this backdrop, President Trump is really desperate again to end this war and have a peace-saving exit. Now Iran is telling that now they are really in a fix. America is in a fix that their soldier is outside for the long time, cannot go for leave, and this create a huge pressure on the War Department of America and the President. So President is really in thick soup, and we have seen there is another news that Trump is so tired and so old
that he's falling asleep.
That he is sleeping, and somebody is commenting that White House is not for sleeping place. It's not a sleeping place. So he has become tired and sick and old enough that he cannot keep him awake to hold the meeting anymore. So these all are happening, and in the meantime, this peace talk is not progressing, which the world was expecting that there will be a peace deal. So there was no peace deal. Now, after so many happenings, so many killings, so many bombing, now America is coming to the terms that a peace deal has to be there, nuclear peace deal. Now the ball has come to into the court of Iran. Now Iran has more bargaining power than before the war began. So America and Israel has not gained anything. Actually, America, this war has left Iran in a very dominating position in the world politics, and of course in the region of Middle East. And Iran has rightly called for the unity of the Muslim world, and those countries, we also feel that the Muslim world like Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey should come in a front so that the world peace can be ensured, so that this type of attack on a Muslim country without any justification, without any reason, this should not happen again. So, so far the Western powers, especially America and Israel, try to divide the Muslim world and deal in isolation, in a peace deal. In isolation they can deal, and that's why this attack on Iran is going on. This should not be the world politics. This cannot be the modern international politics, that you can attack a sovereign country without any reason, only that they are embracing their nuclear power for peace deal, for electrification. So these all issues are coming, and this is really the America who has lost their face and their image as a country having rule of law and democracy, that completely fall in the trap of Netanyahu, and their image has been totally lost.
Right. Excellent statements coming from Barrister Sarwar Hussain, really touching up on some of the facts that we see as they appear, especially regarding Donald Trump, regarding the mistrust of various countries that have indulged in themselves in this war, causing havoc to economies worldwide, much of which we need to discuss as we progress on to the show. But there is an issue that we have been focusing this very week, the decoy plane that Donald Trump got on. I know for a fact it's a month old news, but it was held in Turkey, and I just wonder, when such a political event or such a regional event takes place, I'm sure that there is avid security parameters that they have kept. Of course, Erdogan's Turkey is not to be muddled with. I want to ask Norman Floyd Barnes. 1 month later, the president himself is giving that fact that there was such a situation that the Secret Service had to step in. Just to get your comment, and of course, before the midterm elections, threats to the president's life is definitely there. How do you analyze this? Of course, Iran getting into the head of some people who are in charge of intelligence in the U.S. How you see it, Norman?
For me, I personally come from the background of that type of background, dealing with protection of government officials, heads of states. This is something that is prepared for. This is expected in terms of his protection. They have plans, and these plans are activated daily. We don't hear about it in the news as much as we. This focuses on the Turkish situation, but these things happen every day. I worked two administrations before, and we used to make these changes every day, every other day. There's always credible information to create a situation. That is what the Secret Service do. They make these adjustments, they move things around, and they analyze credible and incredible intelligence, and they make judgments every day. This is an adjustment. This is not should be a shock. This is their job, is to make adjustments. And that exactly is exactly what's going on. The only thing is that now we're hearing about it in the news, like this is a great big, great special something happened. This is daily event. This is the price that you pay for being the head of Western world, of the United States. There's always an opportunity. There's always a situation, and these changes are made daily. Sometimes minutes and hours. Changes are being made. So this is what I call standard procedure. Nothing exciting about it for me, for my world, but it's a good story. But that's all it is, just a story.
Right, and as Norman Floyd Barnes recapped on this version of the story regarding Donald Trump, his decoy plane and all that is associated with his security, the most secure person on the planet will definitely have a narrative, a storyline, and a storyboard as he follows with. It's time for a short commercial break. Afterwards, we look at different aspects of the world order, and there is important stories coming out between Russia and Japan. Vladimir Putin is visiting a territory that is disputed with Japan, as over the 4 southernmost Kuril Islands as well shall be discussed right after a short commercial break, urging our viewers to stay tuned for more on this very program. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
Testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
Special and exclusive footage.
Welcoming our viewers back on to International Affairs. Of course, I am joined by Barrister Sarwar Hussain here in the studio, as well as Norman Floyd Barnes all the way from Washington throughout Zoom. We were definitely talking about Donald Trump and the many stories that are related to him. However, we must look at a different angle, at a different story in a different part of the world. We take our viewers to Russia. And of course, Russia and Ukraine have been exchanging a lot of heated commentary, heated strikes amongst the both. Vladimir Putin is definitely in the Kuril Islands. It is a territorial dispute that he shares with Japan. On the other end, Volodymyr Zelensky is stating that Russia is using North Korean munitions in this regard in attacking one another. I want to turn to Barrister Sarwar Hussain. Really, the Russian president and his offensive that he's carried on from ever since the annexation of Crimea back in 2014 till now is been seen as a warlord. Some would even call him that. But according to the national news agency TASS, Russian President Vladimir Putin is on a disputed Kuril Islands, which is claimed both by Russia and Japan during to this region, as well as some of the footage also says. But I want to ask you how you feel about Ukraine and Russia, worldwide munitions shortage. Even in America, there's a munition shortage. Amidst this, we see that Japan and Russia are sharing comments regarding sovereignty, once again, territorial disputes, and it all has a very evil cycle that it completes, move away from peace and dialogue. How you see this kind of news?
You see the war scenario between the various states is increasingly escalating. So the world already witnessed two world wars. Those world wars, First World War and Second World War, is escalated like that and came to the shape of being a world war. So there was always apprehension whether this war front in Iran, Israel and America, and Ukraine and Russia now visiting the disputed island, whether it will turn to be a world or not. Now it is America who was trying to mediate between Russia and Ukraine during Biden administration. Now America itself involving in various wars, picking up a head of a state of a country and continuing a war for months together. Now they need some mediation. America itself need a mediation. They have to talk about the mediation between Ukraine and Russia by America. Now it looks like that they need some mediation to end the war. So who will mediate? So war is killing. On the other hand, Russia in 1914, they annexed Crimea.
Right.
And there was no protest, no strong protest that you cannot annex like that. And Ukraine-Russia war, we know that two regions, one is named Donbass and the neighboring provinces has been already annexed by Russia. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has, to my understanding, has gone back to pre-Bolshevik revolution. He has emerged one of the very strong autocrat that Russia had before Bolshevik revolution. Now it looked like that there, without another uprising or any revolution, there cannot be a fall of Putin. So Putin on the other side, America is capturing a head of the state of a country from South America, attacking continuously, continuing the war against Iran, and left Russia almost unchecked, unbalanced. Now Russia is also extending, escalating their war mentality, visiting a disputed island. So these signals, this really reflects that this is probably the most turmoil period in the world is witnessing after World War II.
Right.
So who will mediate whom? Who will control whom? So the world order or the United Nations is not functioning. They are holding a few meetings, including a General Assembly meeting, which will be in September.
Just next month.
But it is not contributing. It does not have that effectiveness to stop this warmonger mentality of the big nations. So this is really a volatile period, and we hope that America should end the war with Iran and again participate in mediating to end the war between Ukraine and Russia. And I hope that the visiting of a disputed island, it should be resolved peacefully. Otherwise, there will be regional escalation, and this will further escalate the situation.
Of course, outstanding remarks made by Barrister Sarwar Hossain, really connecting the dots between the world order as we see it, even going as far as saying that even America will need some mediation given that they have indulged themselves into war. And of course, the last 8 months have been very shaky for any kind of economy across the world, with significant changes at the petrol pump, definitely at the grocer. We see that the effects of the war does have negative effects on the consumer markets as well. Just to get a comment regarding this issue, Vladimir Putin, as we picked it up regarding Japan, and of course Japan did have a comment when it came to Iran. It says from its Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, asking the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian that it is important to ensure free and safe navigation in the Strait of Hormuz without additional cost, and called on Tehran to urge the Houthi group to exercise restraint. That is an ally of the US, Japan, extending its hand. And of course, Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran, used to serve in Japan as the Iranian ambassador. So there are old ties that are also coming into play. And Russia seems to be having a dispute over such islands with Japan. Getting a comment from Norman, how you see this, a lot of news, a lot of on the plate to discuss how you feel about all of this.
Well, what I'm seeing is a shift. Normal, we know Russia's agenda. They want to annexation of Europe, annexation of any place on the planet where they can exercise a control. This is a natural thing for Russia. I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised that we haven't heard more about this situation on the island. This has been going on for a while with the issue of that part of the world with Japan and Russia. Russia wants to extend its dominance, its presence, and any opportunity it can, they will try to do this. So we're going to see more about this now since it's out in the news. But Russia has a plan to expand and to annex more land and more places. It's an economic thing for them. They need it because they need to continue to maintain their way of life. So North Korea works with Russia. We have China, North Korea, the United States. All of these countries are trying to put its place in the future, how try to claim land, trying to claim the dominance. But while we are talking about that, the world is now changing its viewpoint and how it relates and what relationships are. So there's going to be a little disruption, a little irritation about this new world order, but everything will eventually work its way out. The conflicts that we have right now, they will continue. I don't see any chance of any type of peaceful settlement this year on anything because the environment doesn't allow that. We are in a season of change. Change is going to happen. And some people, particularly the ones who have control, do not want to give that change up. And other people, other countries want to basically gain a new perspective on this. So with the new relationships, the new alliances in the regional areas, it will change the view, the platform of how we operate in the world. And that is what you're going to see: disruption, new relationships being built, and some countries, some places will have to make that adjustment. Russia is one that is going to continue its efforts on what it does. They have stated that we are in an endless war, and it's not just with Ukraine. So this is what we're going to see. It's nothing going to change, so we can expect more of the same. Expect Russia to push and push until it can't change. They're not going to quit. They're not built that way. So Japan, be prepared for more confrontation with Russia. So let's sit back and see how this thing works out. New changes are coming, new relationships are developing, and that's going to change the whole blueprint of how we see each other, how we relate to each other. And fortunately, it will not involve the U.S., China, and Russia. The changes are coming from within.
Right. As I make of Norman's statement, really Russia and Ukraine, they do not seem to be stepping down, moving back to dialogue, yet alone using munitions created by allied nations such as North Korea, are setting the example of the worldwide escalation. But it's time to look at some of the issues that are stemming from the Middle East, those we have not covered, which definitely includes news from Palestine, news regarding Turkey, as well as the Ankara talks that have been happening between Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the Turkish president, and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in discussions of the Gaza and the West Bank during this talk. As of today, I see that the talk is going to be regarding occupied Palestinian territories, regional developments, bilateral relations as ways to expand cooperation between Palestine and Turkey. And because of such cooperation coming about, we definitely can see the negative side effects of Turkey's relationship with Israel. Just to ask Barrister Sarwar Hussain, really we've seen the Israeli genocide that has been taking place, and Turkey countless times stepping in support of the Gazan people. Even with the aids that they provide, they are definitely providing food, aid, shelter, and all of this combined throughout its various NGO networks. Just to ask you how you see the Turkish president's posturing of the recent Ankara talks.
Yeah, it is expected that the Turkey President Mr. Erdogan will give some leadership in the Muslim world, because after the Cold War has ended, the book is written by Samuel P. Huntington, Clash of Civilization, which reflects that in the future world will be the war of religion between Christianity and Muslim. So the Western world has taken this version, and they think that the rise of Islamist politics or Islamic fundamentalists in their version, and wherever they can, they are waging war against Muslim, and the world has been divided between the religious line. So in that backdrop scenario, it is the Muslim world thought that it is Mr. Erdogan who can really give a leadership. And there was another leader who is in the prison, Mr. Imran Khan.
Right, of Pakistan, right.
I do not know why the bail is not granted yet. And probably he is a great victim. If he could lead, if he could be in the politics, this could have been better for Pakistan. I don't know ex-prime minister why he is not getting bail. So what is happening? So this really reflects the Pakistan had a very strong judiciary. Though why, if the Pakistani judiciary is subservient to the politics now, why a prime minister and a very old age, above 73 or 4, why bail is not granted?
He's a national icon. He's a cricketer for the Pakistan team as well.
He's not only national, he's a world icon. So he's educated in the West. He could be a good Muslim leader. So he should have been allowed to do his politics. Keeping in the prison is not good politics for Pakistan, I feel personally. So otherwise it could be Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey. They should come in the single front, as we discussed earlier.
Right.
So in this backdrop, in the absence of Imran Khan, the burden come on to Erdogan that he will lead some way or other. So he has gone to protect the rights, the devastation the inhabitants of Gaza faced. There must be some rehabilitation, there must be some reconciliation. So it is expected that the Mr. Erdogan will lead somewhere or other in the Muslim world. And there is a YC. We are not hearing anything from YC that what they are doing against this unjust war against Iran. And whether YC has become dysfunctional or not, that is the question. In this scenario, Mr. Erdogan has come forward. This must be appreciated, and he should take a major role. And I think the Muslim leaders should take a role that why Imran Khan is not really granted bail. Whether Pakistan authority wants him to die in the prison, then a Muslim leader will die in the prison. This should not be expected. The Pakistan judiciary is very strong. I hope that the Pakistan authority will consider his bail. Let him do his politics and you do your politics. So from the Muslim interest point of view and the Muslim leadership, he could be a good leader.
Definitely.
So we hope that the Pakistan judiciary will play that a strong role again to bring the justice, especially for Imran Khan. It should not come like this, Pakistan. And there was a Balochistan issue in Pakistan, and they are telling that this is the East Pakistan of West Pakistan. So only the good politics, good leadership of Pakistan really can save their integrity. I personally feel if Balochistan is disintegrated, that will be a very, very bad news for Pakistan. That should not be allowed, and that can be hindered only by good politics. It is India who will always ponder that the Balochistan issue should become more and more, and it is Pakistan leadership who should handle it very carefully, so that another East Pakistan becoming Bangladesh, that does not happen there.
Of course.
So this is
really
the Pakistan politics should be very more democratic, more justified, more national interest based. Not only the brother of Mr. Sharif, now the President Prime Minister, they will continue. This politics of Pakistan will continue in two families. That will not develop Pakistan. We feel, I feel personally like that.
And that same kind of commentary is very similar to what we face here in Bangladesh as well. So really having a strong Muslim leadership in Muslim nations is very important, as you avidly placed the example of Imran Khan, the ex-president of Pakistan, the ex-prime minister. I just want to have a very short comment by Norman Floyd Barnes. How you see Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the leader hailing from Turkey, a very senior politician. He's looked as like a grandfather figure in Middle Eastern politics as well. He is his nation is member of NATO, so definitely a new but very old senior leadership in one of the Muslim nations. How you see it, his role towards the Palestinian cause, Norman?
Yes, actually, I had the opportunity to provide work with him in his protected detail when he was here directly with him while he visited the United States. I see this person as a leader, a leader. Right now, the Muslim world need a leader. That region is unstable because they have not come to terms within themselves internally how they want to live and adjust. I see Turkey as the possible solution to lead the region, to provide a framework for peace and stability in the area. They have to come to terms exactly. They have, they have to, the different sects, the different fractions of their internally, but collectively they can provide a environment where everybody can conflict coexist. This confrontation in that region has to somehow be controlled. And I think the key to that is Turkey. Turkey and the strong leadership of Iran is basically, I think it's the answer. If they decide to stand up and make the announcement that we are going to be united, I think the Muslim world will follow.
Right. And as I get from Norman, excellent response regarding Recep Tayyip Erdogan. History does provide a background into the role of modern-day Turkey. It was the venue of the many crusade wars that it fought, even during the Ottoman Empire, even creating historic leaders such as the former founding father of the Republic of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Even there is a street named after him here in Bangladesh as well, just to show their excellence in governance and in history as well. It's time to take a short commercial break. Afterwards, we look at some of the stress that we see here in Bangladesh with load shedding at the highest peak in the last couple of hours as well. Requesting our audience to stay tuned for more on this very program.
Played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Panta.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
Opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on.
Welcoming our viewers back onto the last segment of International Affairs. We were, of course, joined by Norman Floyd Barnes and, of course, here in the studio, Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain, discussing so many events from around the globe that have taken place in this very year, really to understand where the world is headed to make a prediction on how we are going to end this year as well. Much of the news now I will follow is with locality here in Bangladesh. What we are going through is definitely an energy crisis, a crisis that would definitely hit all economies very hard. Our factories here in Bangladesh really rely on this energy to create output. So it definitely has an effect on our output as per a nation. As we see, the Center for Policy Dialogue, CPD, has recommended a combination of immediate, medium and long-term measures to address our nation's growing energy crisis. As we also see that there has been a notice, shopping malls, markets to close by 8 p.m., billboards by 7 p.m. But really, that has been there even before this very notice. We have been following for many years and months before today. It's time to get innovative. I want to ask some solutions from Barrister Sarwar Hussain. How do you see this very critical turning point in our nation's history? We've fought through a dictator, autocrat government, and now even with an elected government, we see that some of the realities are very harsh for the people, the 200 million people that it governs. How you see it?
You look, Bangladesh is running against the lesson of history, against the teaching of history. After a turmoil like that, what happened in 5th August, the interim government had only 18 months. 18 months is nothing. No nation could come to the track, come to the line in a very short period like that. It is France who took 10 years to come into the discipline, come into the normal functioning.
Right.
And this South Korea, after this Park Geun-hye regime, it took 27 years to come to the democracy. So it is BNP who was telling time and again that the problem was confronted by the interim government can be resolved by the elected government very quickly. Now the elected government has come.
And the problem still has not resolved.
And it is BNP who pressed in the London meeting, you pressed for this early election before allowing the interim government to come to a line. So now the whole burden has come to on the shoulder of the elected government, that is on BNP.
Right.
Now, we understood, we talked that this is not the good solution, that the elected government can really bring rule of law and justice if they do not have democracy within the party, if they do not have the accountability within the party. So we see a politics what we saw during the Awami League regime and the crisis. First of all, we have seen fuel. Yes, well, this government has a defense that there is a war situation. So fuel crisis was normal. That has been eased. The government will get a thanks on that. That is eased with a high price. Now we see the gas crisis.
Right.
There are a lot of households who cannot really cook, and we have seen a lot of funds in the media that the hurricane is being distributed, the candle is being distributed, that you will have no light so that the student you can read and go to the exam hall, and electricity. Last night in Banani, and you might have also experienced that 2 hours there was no electricity in the midnight.
Right. Twice in the middle of the night.
Usually it does not happen. Now again we see that the denial syndrome, that you don't accept that there is 6 to 8 hours blackout, 6 to 8 hours this shortage of electricity, and you said that there is no shortage of electricity. Now we are seeing. So in this scenario, we see that the person is responsible for this electricity ministry has failed in 2001 to 2006 regime.
And that is what most of the reporters, journalists, analysts are saying.
Yeah. So Iqbal Hasan Mahmood means load shedding. Why you are denying? You accept the truth. There was some in 2001 and 2006, people were criticizing that electricity sometime it comes, and most of the time there is no electricity.
Right.
So you have a huge criticism during that regime, and the same person you have given in the same ministry. So he is a failure character. Once he has failed to manage this ministry, how he will be successful? So Mr. Tuku means load shedding. So you have brought him, you cannot solve this. Don't deny. Solve the problem. You have to address you have to accept the truth and solve the problem. And on the other hand, there is acute economic crisis. Inflation is on the rise, and every day you are printing taka. So on the one hand, it is the economic crisis. On the other hand, fuel, gas, electricity. How we are going to manage that? That is the challenge in front of that. People have started talking that you had been talking that the elected government will solve everything. Instead of solving, the more problem is coming to the people. People are suffering more. So, this is a really challenge. How they will overcome, that is up to them, but this is a big challenge.
Of course, excellent statements coming from Barrister M. Sarwar Hossain, really recapping what the current leadership is taking the various steps. However, a popular statement is becoming very popular in our own mother tongue Bangla, which states that there is no electricity versus the electricity only comes sometimes. So that is the variety between how people are facing it. It has various differences between the capital city Dhaka here, while compared to rural areas in the villages as well. I thank Barrister M. Sarwar Hossain for your valuable comments and contributions, insights towards various international and national news. I also thank Norman Floyd Barnes for joining us on this very program, providing the perspectives from Washington, District of Columbia. Just want to end today's program by stating a fact. Today is August the 13th. It's looked at and celebrated as International Left-Handers Day. It raises awareness about the daily struggle left-handers face in a world built for right-handed tools, desks and gadgets. About 10% of the global population is left-handed. With that being stated, I am signing off on International Affairs. I will be with you all in next week's installation.